Welcome back into the world of Uno X then, guys, and it's time to progress from Season 1 into Season 2. And first up, I know I haven't played the full season on camera myself, but I do want to take a look at just how well our guys have done this year. So I have come over to the ranking page and you can see we're 9th place with the team in the UCI team rankings. Only beaten by Lotto Destiny in terms of pro teams, but 11,000 points for our guys. And Tobias Holland Johannesson with 3,000 points is our highest scorer, ahead of Werenskjold and Christoph. And scrolling down, I mean, Kofidis have scored 3,500 points in total. Tobias almost beat them by himself. Anyway, individual rankings, and of course Tadej Pogačar is destroying everyone there. Our best rider, Tobias Holland Johannesson, in 13th place, the 13th best rider in the world. I would love to have him or another rider in the top 10 next year though. And in terms of victories, I mean straight away, Tadej Pogačar, 39 victories in a single season. That's, I think, 14 more than he achieved in his unreal year in real life this season. Anyway, UAE Team Emirates destroy everyone as well with 80 victories for them. We though finish in 4th place, 36 wins. 4th place out of every team in the world. That is unbelievable. And 36 victories, that's the number to beat next year. And you can see all of our victories on screen right now. Christoph at the European Champs, probably the biggest of the season. But crucially, if we change the categories to World Tour, they all disappear because we're yet to win a World Tour race, and that is something we definitely need to do next season. We obviously came so close to doing that with Tobias at Il Lombardia and Quebec in recent episodes. He also came second at a tour stage. I really hope he's not becoming the nearly man and can turn these second places into victories. And I do want to provide a little context to the season, and this is going to happen real quick. So, João Almeida won the Giro and Bauke Mollema, my guy, finishing on the podium. Pogačar won the Tour, the same podium as real life, and Landissimo is real. He wins La Vuelta a España. Pogačar won a grand total of 4 other stage races: Tirreno, Catalunya, Basque Country and the Dauphiné. He also won the rainbow jersey for the first time in Zurich with Christoph, regaining that European title he won earlier in his career. Wout van Aert has finally won De Ronde, and you can see all of the other monument winners. And Pippo Ganna won Bay Masai Classics in probably my favourite race of the series so far. And I've spotted an email I'm particularly interested in about the Vélo d'Or. That's right, our guy Alex Christoph has received a nomination in the top 10 for the Vélo d'Or. You love to see it. Does he deserve to win? Absolutely not. Is he getting my votes? Absolutely yes. And so we are about to welcome Kasper Askren, Jürgen Nordhagen and the youngster Albert Witten Philipsen to the team for 2025. And I shouldn't forget the promotions of Simon Dalby and Truls Nordhagen from the development team. And we've actually seen a lot of transfers that have happened in real life replicated in game, and that starts with Tudor signing Mark Hirschi and Julian Alaphilippe, 2 very similar riders it must be said, and I'm keen to see how they get on in real life and of course in game. I think the award for the best transfer window though has to go to Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, Lascano, Pellizzari, Lawrence Pithy, Tratnik, Finn, Fisher-Black, and that is in addition to Maddis Mikkels and the Van Dijker twins. That is an unreal transfer window, and they're definitely putting that Red Bull money to good use. I think Visma would argue theirs is as good though, with of course Victor Campanat, Simon Yates and the promotion of Matthew Brennan, the young sprinter from GB among them. Nicholas Behrens as well, he is going to be a brilliant rider. And Astana have done their absolute best to rescue their World Tour status with the signings of Bettiol, Pools, Higuita, the list goes on. Caleb Ewan coming over with Ulysses as well, but it's just not been enough for them. Ben O'Connor is signed to replace Simon Yates at Jayco Alula, but I'm excited to see this man, Jelta Kreisenen. His attributes are pretty good, still just 23 years old as well. I think he's going to do great next year. So of course, many of these transfers are taking place in real life, and they've been replicated in game as well, which is no coincidence, but there are a few wildcards I've thrown into the mixer as well. And the first of those, it's a big one guys, because Tom Pidcock is leaving the Ineos Grenadiers. He gets his own team. He will lead Q36.5 after he was kicked out of Il Lombardia, and I cannot wait to see how he gets on here. And Ineos have really been a team on the down lately, haven't they? That's been exacerbated by Pidcock leaving, but they do have some good news. Because veteran, legend Mark Cavendish is joining the Ineos Grenadiers. He's returning there for one last dance. It will be his final year as a pro cyclist. And can he maybe add to those Tour de France stage wins? And this shocks me a lot. Uno X, a 15th place in the team index page. And that means we're becoming a World Tour team. That means we need to ride every single World Tour race on the calendar. And I'm not sure if I like that, I'm not going to lie. To be honest, P19 or 20 would have been absolutely perfect because then you get the choice of which World Tour races you want to ride and you're not obligated to ride any of them. So I would have preferred that, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, 15th place, we'll make do with being a premier team in the world. And if I'm honest, our results are definitely deserving of it. Anyway, we're not the only team becoming a World Tour team. Tudor Pro Cycling are jumping to World Tour, same for Israel Premier Tech, with, I think, Arkea, Astana and Cofidis, who had that horrible season, dropping down to Conti Pro. Quick update though on our development team, and Simon Dalby, he's of course coming to the pro ranks with us. Henrik Pedersen is the other big talent in this squad, and he's going to have one more year in the dev team. We'll re-sign him and then surely promote him to the World Tour ranks. And pretty much all the other riders in this squad have signed pro contracts elsewhere. I mean, Halvor Dolven, 75 flat. I would have loved to have signed this guy. Could have been a great lead-out rider potentially if he increased his sprint, but he signed a pro contract, and I have to say fair play to these guys. Obviously, I've not offered them a contract, so they're free to talk to other teams. I mean, Halvor Dolven, probably a rider I would have considered at some point, but no guarantees he would have got a contract with Uno X. And obviously, these teams, Co-op, Teranganu, Colo Quick, they're not pro or World Tour teams, but it's a pro contract for these guys, so wishing them all the best. Hopefully they make a career for themselves. I mean, obviously not too good. I don't want these guys beating our squad, but hopefully they have a proper career for themselves. Now, these are the under 23 riders my scouts think are most talented. Albert Philipsen, he's of course getting fast tracked straight to the big team, but I'm just going to offer contracts to a bunch of riders my scouts think are most talented. And there you go, they all sign with us, with Hector Alvarez joining UE Team Emirates. He's a junior to watch for sure. A few more rounds done and we have completed our under 23 squad. Pretty happy with it, no super talents in the team right now unfortunately, but let's just see how these guys get on while keeping a close eye on Henrik Pedersen. It's official guys, we are a World Tour outfits. Uno X have made it to the highest point of world cycling. Let's go. And when you think about that, only 2 nations in the entire squad. That is some achievement. Oh my word, Kasper Askren literally joined the team today, 25th of October, and he's already in his fitness peak. This man's out to impress. Dude, have an off season. And you cannot be serious. Christoph doesn't even get a top 3 place in the Velo d'Or. You've got to be joking. And this is actually so funny because I've gone through every single journalist's vote, and the only vote for Christoph comes from TV2 Norway, who have Christoph in 2nd place behind Tadej Pogacar, in addition to Ola Shenui, who has Christoph in 4th place. No one else here has voted for our king. And so Ola Shenui and Sindre Olsen Olsen, you are the only 2 journalists I respect from this point forward. Yeah, that took a little while, but we have made it into January 2025 and Season 2 officially begins here. I don't know what your guys' first move is when you get to a new season in career mode, but mine is always to come to the squad screen and check our riders' attributes and how good it is to see our new signings in the team. Kasper Askren, of course, Jürgen Nordhagen as well. 5.5 star potential. So excited about this rider. And the same goes for Albert Withen Philipsen. 5.5 star potential. Those 2 riders hopefully are going to be special. Alex Christoph at 37, just starting to fall off the cliff a little bit, which of course comes at no surprise. But that definitely opens the door for Søren Werenskjold to maybe start to fill the boots of Alex Christoph on a more permanent basis. I mean, Christoph is still the best sprinter in the team, but Werenskjold has higher flat now, his secondaries are getting there as well, and he has higher acceleration than Christoph. And Tobias is still our best climber, best GC rider by far in the team, but I am keeping a very close eye on Jürgen Nordhagen. 75 mountain at the moment, 69 time trial. You can see the rest of his attributes, and I really hope these grow throughout the season. And by the end of the year, maybe we can use him as a bit of a dual leader alongside Tobias. And heading over to the calendar, of course, We are now a World Tour team, which means we have a lot of races to ride this season. And as I progress through the calendar, this obviously means we are going to ride all 3 Grand Tours this season, including the Giro for the first time, the Tour de France, which we've ridden before, and La Vuelta a España for the first time as well. And that brings me on to the planner. Guys, I have planned out every rider's race for the entire season. It takes absolute hours, but I actually find it quite satisfying, I have to say. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy doing this as well. Obviously, we'd be here for about 3 days if I recapped every rider's plan for the season, but we'll start with the Santos Tour Down Under. So, I've sorted the riders on the left by evaluation, so the best riders are at the top and the worst riders at the bottom. And you can see, none of our star riders are racing the Tour Down Under, so I'm trying to give the opportunity to a few of our lesser riders to really show their worth. Looking at the squad screen, I've limited our riders to 5 objectives each this season, tried to make it a bit more difficult for myself. Let's take a closer look into this. So, Tobias's schedule for the year, you can see he's focusing on the Tour de France. That's his big goal. But he is going to try and ride a couple of other races and really go for the win. Tirreno Adriatico, that would be a cool race to try and win this year. He's going to have a go at Liège-Bastogne-Liège. And let's see if he's fit for La Vuelta a España as well. And Jürgen Nordhagen has a very different schedule. I don't think he rides with Tobias until Clásica San Sebastián and La Vuelta a España. Until then, he has a very different schedule based around stage races specifically. Paris-Nice, he gets the chance to lead there. And let's see how he can get on at the Giro. And Kasper Asgreen, new signing, of course, he's going to focus on the classics in the first part of the season. I'd like to see how he gets on at Amstel as well. Of course, he's going to go to Belgium and Paris-Roubaix, but Amstel is a race I feel like Asgreen could maybe have a sneaky chance at. So there's a brief look into some of our main riders' objectives, but here you can see the Grand Tours. So let's start at the Tour de France, guys. It's our main race of the year, of course, so we are taking our best squad possible to the Tour de France. And that means the Giro squad is probably a stage hunting squad on paper. I don't think we'll be challenging for the GC, depending on Nordhagen's development. We'll be going for stages at the Giro. And at the Vuelta, we have Tobias and Nordhagen, like I said, riding together for the first time. And that's going to be a fun squad with Albert Philipsen getting his first Grand Tour as well. And I want this season to be a real challenge, guys. So looking at the sponsor objectives, I have set this up to be a really difficult task. All of the objectives are a 6 max difficulty with the fire emoji in there. So, Tirreno Adriatico is the first goal. We need to get Tobias on the podium there. Our other main goal in the first part of the season is a top 5 at Paris-Roubaix. It's going to be difficult, but I think it's possible. And then at the Giro, we are trying to win 3 stages with our stage hunting squad before we go for a top 10 place at the Tour de France for the first time, and then we need a top 5 place at Il Lombardia. It's literally as hard as it gets when it comes to sponsor objectives. And I love that you can change the race objectives now in PCM. You couldn't do that in previous versions of the game. This is a great feature. And the season objectives are not easy either, because win 10 UCI World Tour races is a goal. And remember, we didn't win a single World Tour race last season. So I guess we need to start quickly at the Tour Down Under. And these objectives mean we could achieve a maximum 100 confidence rating by our sponsor. That's going to be very difficult though. Another important step in the season prep is the trainers and the axis of training for riders. I'm not going to bore you with this by going on about it for 2 minutes, but if you're interested, you can see what I've gone for on screen. And looking at our staff setup, we have our trainers sorted, scouts too, but we are without a doctor. So let's not complicate things. Let's go for a national doctor here. Niall Madsen, welcome to the team. And to be honest, I don't think the benefit of a training camp is worth it on PCM, but we've got to have a training camp, so let's sort this out. Okay, so Alcamo, Italy is the location. 3 stars out of 5 for comfort, but our guys aren't fussy, so should be fine. And the entire team can go for 7 days next week, 34,000 euros. I'm out of pocket here, guys. And looking at our under-23 team, Henrik Pedersen is definitely the big talent here, but I can't see any superstars in the team right now, so it's a big year for our scouts. So Mark Hester, he is going to absolutely study Denmark and Scandinavia. With Knut Knudsen, he's going to have a look in a couple of other areas, including Slovenia. Maybe we'll find the new Tadej, you never know. But here comes the big evolution of potentials email, and I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Albert Philipsen's potential goes from 5.5 one of the best potentials in game to a 4. To a 4, he becomes a standard junior rider. What has happened here? I mean, this guy's meant to be one of the stars of junior racing right now, and his potential disintegrates into a 4. He's letting me down only 8 days into his Uno X career. I mean, at least Nordhagen is still a 5.5, but that is so disappointing, I have to say. Let's delete that email because I don't enjoy looking at it at all. Anyway, the training camp has ended. Let's see how our guys got on. I mean, an increased fitness of 2 to 3%, sometimes 1% for some of these guys. Is it really worth it when I could have simply put their fitness higher at the beginning of the season? Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the training camp in Italy. But we are not in Italy today because we are going down under to Adelaide for the Santos Tour Down Under. We're racing it for the first time. And former rider actually, Tobias Foss, is the defending champion here. Anyway, 4 sprint stages, so important to bring a strong lead out. We have a quick finale into Campbelltown on stage 3, and then it's the big finale on the famous Wollonga Hill. I've tried to give the chance to some more peripheral riders in this race, so Tor Gudmestad is our lead sprinter, and then we have Adney Holter and Simon Dalby, just promoted from our dev team as our dual GC leaders. Damn, looking at the favourites, Jasper Philipsen starts his season here with Caden Groves as his lead out. Alpsin should win 4 out of 4 sprint stages at this race. But Gudmestad makes it onto the favourite screen. Let's see what we can do today. Guys, if you're like me, there is literally nothing like the feeling when you jump into your first race of a new season, looking at all the new riders on their new teams. It is just so exciting. I am pumped right now. There are a couple of new jerseys to spot in game as well this year, including the Ineos Grenadiers and defending champion Tobias Foss modelling it, looking pretty nice as well. The same goes for home favourite as well, Michael Matthews, looking very nice in that new Jayco Alula kit. Anyway, we're just going to hang out in the peloton today as there are 4 riders up the road in today's breakaway. Yves Lampard is one of them as well. And pretty cool to see basically a preview of the 2025 season here. I mean, look at Red Bull's team with Finn Fisher-Black, Lawrence Pithy, Jan Tratnik as well. Plenty of new signings racing here for them. Anyway, I feel like the stage is about to get serious. It's time to get the glasses on, guys. Let's go. And so we are hurtling towards the finish now. Widderberg on the front of our 4-man train, but I feel like we might be best following the wheels today. And that's because we simply don't have the best lead out in the race. I want to try and grab this man's wheel right here. Let's try and get it early. Jasper Philipsen is the man I want to follow, and Gudmestad, try and get to his wheel, my man. Okay, Levy, you follow the wheels as well because you've got a decent kick on you, but Gudmestad is firmly placed or trying to get to the wheel of Philipsen. Only 5k to go, and it's Total on the front for Genier. This is going horribly, so Gudmestad has switched wheels to Penouet of Groupama FDJ. Let's see if this is any better, but again, Campanats now comes to the front. This is absolute chaos for Gudmestad, and we don't have a wheel just yet. Axel Zongler of Visma lead us out into the final kilometre, and here we go. Gudmestad in a half decent position, actually going for the line at the Tour Down Under. It's not going to be a win, and it's actually going to be Alpsin and one of their lead out riders, Zandro Murisa. Okay, what a start to the season. I was absolutely certain Philipsen's wheel would be the one there. He gets 15th place in the end. I realised it wasn't, tried to switch tactic at the end, and we get 7th place. Not the worst start to the year. Anyway, guys, it's been a long off-season episode, so we are going to leave it there today. We will finish the Tour Down Under and get stuck into plenty of other races in the next episode. Anyway, I really hope you're looking forward to this season just as much as I am. Drop a like on the video if you are. Let me know in the comments as well what you thought of today's episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.